Hey YouTube, Carco here. Hey, so I wanted to make another video. This one's designed to help kind of jumpstart people into the world of Oort and the Oort Online community. So this video kind of assumes that you're like an instant access backer just to start with. So let's just start from the very beginning. Assuming you sent your money to them and whatnot, how do you initially start to play the game? The first thing is you're going to go to this website. It's ga.me to actually play the game. You click on games. You'll need to create an account. You send them your username by email, and then once they've got that, they'll assign the permissions necessary so you can get access to Oort. Then they'll email you and let you know it's ready to go. Then you go here and you click on Play Oort Online. A couple of things that I wish somebody had told me up front when I started. It's buried around, but just to kind of help give you the head start on it. Once you get into the game, you're going to be loaded in the world test by default. The first important thing to know is hit O to adjust your settings for any graphical needs. P is how you can toggle the servers that you're on. And hang on a second, we'll do that in a second. Okay. So O brings up the options, P brings up the server list. There you go. We're on Hell 1 right now, and I'm going to kind of walk around Hell and sightsee to show you some of the art, and I'll explain why later on. But I'll just point out random stuff as I'm walking around that's really good. So let's see. The other thing you want to know about is actually, okay, let's drop some blocks down here. If you press I, that actually toggles infinite blocks. So you press I, that allows you to place an infinite number of blocks. And then the way in Oort that you can make slope blocks, like you see right here, is by positionally placing blocks. So like let's take one dirt for example and place it in the number 2 slot. This is the one that gives you a 45-degree angle. This gives you like a small wedge, and then 3/4, and so on and so forth. Each place you spot it in, and you press R to toggle it. So like R, slant block, press R again, square block, R, slant block, so on. And then you can play around with where you put them, and that'll change the actual shape of the slope block that you place. So that's slopers. And then other things to know about Oort Online is kind of where to get information. They use 3 main sources to distribute information to the game. That's the forums, Twitter, and Facebook. Quick note, if you really like forums, I'm sorry, but this is just not a forums-heavy environment for some reason. People get on, they try the forums for a little bit, and they realize no one's talking there. So you can go see things, an old post, and people will occasionally post once a week, but there's really not that much there. Facebook is good if you don't want that much information. Like if you want to see something about the game once a week and that's it, and the big high-profile news of what's going on, Facebook's the solution for you. Really where all of the conversation and discussion and ideas and input occurs is on Twitter. So if you're like me and you hated Twitter and you thought it was stupid, you'll just have to get past it, because it's like global chat for the game right now, because there is no in-game chat. So you'll need Twitter, and the cool thing is you can do it and you can get that free package that they have set up there if you sign up for it and tweet something. But you really need to build a Twitter account, if nothing else, and you don't want to be active in Twitter. I would recommend setting up a Twitter account, following @OrtOnline, and just checking it like once a week. They post good stuff usually at least once a day, and they also retweet anything great that comes out of the community. So by following just that one user, you're pretty much going to have access to most of the major information you need in the game. Bonus points if you follow @Carco_OO. So let me see. That's a good thing you need to know about that. And it really is global chat. I mean, on Twitter, the devs will answer you and answer questions you have. So it's a really great resource. So what do you actually do? Or let's say, sorry, not what do you do? How about sightseeing? So the first and most interesting thing to do in the game is to go exploring. In case you haven't noticed, the terrain is really, really interesting. It's not repetitive. It's always different. The worlds are radically different in design and appearance. No two look the same that we've seen so far. So there's a lot to explore, and you can wander for a very long time in any direction and see all sorts of neat and unique formations. So the worlds that have the best things to see, like works built by a player, are going to be Hell, Gaia, and Fuchs. Right now we're walking around in Hell, and Hell was kind of the second big enclave of where the builders got together and started building in the game. And I think most of the best works in the game are all located here. There's the clock tower on Gaia, which is also fantastic to go and see, and if you want to go see that, all you need to do is warp to the spawn of Gaia, turn right, and start walking. You can't miss it. Especially if it's nighttime, there's no way you can miss it then. So anyways, in Hell, I'll kind of show you what's here that's good as we go around through the video. Caught here. There we go. So, somebody decided to change these, and it made it so it's a trap. It's a trap. Man, I really hate you, whoever did this. This used to be so easy to get up. Oh well, forget it. Not wasting my time. Oh, what on earth? Am I caught in something? Oh, this is embarrassing. So much for the awesome guide video. Oh, goodness. There we go. Finally, I'm free. Yeah, there we go. So anyways, let's see what else is there. Okay, so this tower, let's start with it. It was built by Stormbringer GT. He's the guy who started this whole town, and it's really awesome. There's this large castle thing right up ahead here that you can just barely make out. And then that up there is a really fantastic fortress to go explore. That was built by, oh, what's that guy's name? Mr. Stuff. And then there's the other pier over there. That's the giant arena that Stormbringer built for PvP. So that's pretty sweet. You want to go hit up that, and then we'll head back down. We're going to take the express route. And let's see, Gaia, Fuchs, and then the other thing to go see in game is the player built worlds. So far they've uploaded 3, and if you have an interest and you want to upload your world, send it to them. They'll take a look at it, and they'll probably upload it. The player worlds cycle out. There's only really going to be one at any one time, or at least so far. That's what they've said. So if one world comes up, it's going to take the old one down. So you definitely want to explore them when you see new worlds pop up, because they're probably going to go away, and I don't recommend building in them personally. But the other worlds always remain static, and they're here. So go check that out. What is there to do in game? That's a pretty big question people ask. The first and best thing to do in game is to explore the worlds. There's a lot to see, and there's a lot of really interesting terrain to go look at, and you'd be surprised just walking around with the lighting and terrain generation. You'll stumble across things that'll just absolutely blow your mind away. Speaking of this tower here, or castle now, it used to be a tower that was just a single tower built by a guy named Alexander, and this is probably one of my favorite structures in the entire game right now. He expanded it to 4 of them and made a castle out of it, but I was a really big fan when it was just 1. So anyways, there's all sorts of great houses around here. You can also see slanted roofs are heavily utilized in some of these designs. You might want to stop by and take a look at some of those. Let's see, back to what is there to do. Let's see. Oh, you're going to want to go and see the gateways that will actually connect you to other worlds pretty quickly. And everybody always wants to know where those are at. The easiest one to get to is actually on Test. If you walk out of Test, by the way, this house right here was built by me. It was one of the second things I built in the game. If you walk out from just north of spawn, there's going to be like a brick walkway to your left. That brick walkway was actually built by me. It's the very first thing I built to help players find the portal. If you'll follow that all the way to the end, you're going to run into a portal that will connect you from Test to Hell. It's actually right by the spawn over there. And then if you watch the beginning of this video again, you'll see how to get the rest of the way to where we are right now. The second major portal that you'll be able to find in the game, ooh, check out that, is, I'll show you something else that's really crazy in Hell, is that, oh, the clouds are blocking it, bummer. Okay, we'll get closer. The other great thing to watch in Hell, is actually in Fuchs. Fuchs is a pretty good place to go check out for building. There's been a lot that's been done there. It was kind of the first major hub of stuff. It's kind of mishmash. Some of it's good, some of it's not. But, you know, it's there. But inside Hell, you know, you just go north of spawn, basically. It'll go down. There's a giant lake. You can't miss it. There's all sorts of stuff built around that lake. The lighthouse is over there, or the yeah, something like that. And down in there to the left on the lake, you will find like this big blue and yellow sign, and it says like New World here, and it almost forms like an arrow pointing down. That will have the gateway that will connect you into Luca, I believe. And so that's another place you can get to pretty easily early on to find the gates. Don't go wandering around looking forever for gates. I'm fairly certain that there's only a handful of them, and I think they're hard-coded into the game currently. So there's another one that connects the sand world, I forget the name of it, to the other world, which I'm not remembering the name of right now. But there's another one bridge between there, and that one's inside of a house. If you watch some YouTube videos, you can usually spot that one because that's really popular. This, on the other hand, is probably the second most awesome thing in the game right now. This is the Magi Tower that was built by Noodles. This is just holy, yeah, wow. And then let me see what else. So that's the gateway. The other thing is to just walk around and take screenshots. That's a pretty popular thing for people to do, not only of the artwork that people build, but also just to the landscape, because the terrain generation is pretty darn impressive in this game. So you'll see some really amazing stuff as you just kind of roam around, in addition to finding really, really good stuff. The other things are to share those pictures on Twitter. A lot of times we will collectively find things that people built or find out about stuff just by following on Twitter. And if you want, you can send those to at Oort Screenshots, which is manned by Serlix, and pretty good deal. He tends to rebroadcast a lot of the best stuff, so follow that as well if you want to see even more good stuff. That's how I actually find a lot of the things in the world to go hunt down, is from seeing screenshots that people post and going, oh, hey, where's that at? So anyways, the other thing to do is to build. You've obviously seen a lot of different blocks. To give you an idea of what you can build with, although the grass and everything's slightly hued differently in each world, this is largely the base block set you have to work with at the time. There's a couple other blocks in the world, like obviously I don't have the stuff for trees, that you can snatch, and by picking up a single block, hitting I, going infinite, you can build with it. But these are most of the blocks you have to work with on the color palette at this time. But that being said, as you've seen so far, that hasn't really stopped anybody from doing awesome things. So that's good to know. The other thing to do in the game is to build or ride on the different slides and bouncy blocks. The best one to go do is right next to the spawn in Fuchs. Go there and whoops. Yeah, you want to go to Fuchs, and then there's going to be like a tower right next to spawn. You want to go into that tower, follow the staircase up. It's going to take you to a pathway, and that will lead you directly to the developer built slide. That's really good. That, if you saw the video in the trailer on the homepage for Oort, and you saw them going down a slide, that's that one. It takes you down the first chute, bounces you, which throws you into the next chute. Then that one gets you going really fast. You hit an accelerator pad, you bounce, and then it starts, you just start flying across the map at really high speed. So that's really fun. It shows off some of the movement physics in the game. So that's pretty sweet, and you want to go do that one. And people have built slides and bouncy stuff in just about every world, so you'll just stumble upon it as you kind of go roaming around. Then the other thing you can do is battle with your friends. It's kind of hard at this time to find people to fight with. Because there's no global chat, so the easiest way to do it is to chat with people out of game and get them to meet up with you at the at Thunderdome's the best place. That's on the Sand World. Let me look up what the name of that is. Dune. And so anyways, Thunderdome's right. There's a path, if I'm not mistaken, from spawn that leads you directly to Thunderdome, and you'll see the big bluing globe block. That's kind of like a boundary for PvP. And so inside there, you guys can fight and battle. So then, let's see, what is there to do out of game? Outside of the game, you can ask the devs for the editor, because if you're instant access or above, you can get it. Then you can start playing with the editor. I recommend you watch the original developer video about how to use the editor. It has probably the best guide to get started on how to use the editor. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. I'd be glad to answer them. I've had quite a bit of experience with it myself. Then the other thing you could do is chat with people on Twitter. You'd be surprised, but a lot of the day we just sit around chatting with each other about different things that get posted and different things that the developers have actually been working on. Since they're so open and they communicate with us so much, we get to just kind of chat about all sorts of things they're working on. The other thing is to make artwork and get Oort bands. That's pretty popular, even if you aren't an instant access backer. A lot of people draw stuff and make artwork and submit it, and then they'll send you Oort bands, either in the mail or something along those lines, for being awesome. And then, of course, they'll retweet it. Another thing is to make YouTube videos. You never know, you might find something interesting that you want to show off, and people do watch them. So then the other thing is to stream on Twitch. That's another thing that's kind of popular to do. You'd be surprised who might pop in. I've even had the developers like pop in back in the day when I was a nobody into my stream and start chatting it up with me. So that's pretty sweet. So you might give that a shot too. And this is an old. Oh, I need to hit R. This is an old faction base, actually, from Minecraft, and I used it. I used this when I was playing factions. I'd build this thing out in the middle of the ocean, and it's pretty good. It's really disposable, so if there's any problems, I could just bail and get out pretty easily. I went too far. I'll take and show you the view from it real quick. But yeah, thanks for backing. We really appreciate it. Without you, this game wouldn't get made. So we're really glad you're here and have decided to join us. So here's the view from up here. You can see all sorts of good stuff. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned.